right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Still Super 96.3 FM, your family thirst. And Gravians, if you're checking your time right now, you would see that it's 33 minutes past the hour of 4, meaning that Radio Doctor should be live and is live right now. Whitney, of course, is very much in the studio, likewise myself. We told you earlier that the essence of the Radio Doctor segment is just to make sure that we give you everything health related that you need to know, just to ensure that your health is in the adequate way that it's supposed to be. Joining us on the show today is Dr. Tobiloba Ojo. Is a medical doctor, is also an author, and it will make sure that he takes us through basically what we call the 3 pillars of health. So if you've not heard those words put together before, the 3 pillars of health, you definitely do want to pay attention, and don't pay attention alone. Tell somebody to pay close attention. You're about to be educated.
Good evening, Dr. Toby. Hello, can you hear us?
I suppose
yes,
you can
I can
hear
hear
us.
you loud and clear.
All right,
Okay.
good evening. Nice to have you and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, everyone. Thank
Happy
you
New Year
so
to you
much.
too.
Thank you so much. It's a privilege.
All right, thank you so much. So, you said we're going to be talking about the 3 pillars of health. Now we know it is a new year, and we want to start the year healthy. And I believe that the 3 pillars of health are the things that we need to do to get quality health this year. So can you tell us first of all, what is the 3 pillars of health? Then give us number 1. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So, to all listeners, I will say good afternoon to you, good morning to you, good night, or good evening, wherever you may be listening all over the world. I'm
Okay.
Dr. Tobiloba Ojo. I'm a medical doctor and an author also. So, many people will be wondering what is the 3 pillars of health like? Are there just 3 things we need to do for quality health? But majorly, one can't go wrong with these 3 foundational pillars of health. And during the course of this interview, we'll be delving into the 3 major things that you must get right with your health, and then you can be talking about optimum and premium health, and you can be able to enjoy a life of meaning, both mentally, physically, even emotionally.
All right. Okay, let's begin with the first one then.
Okay, so the first pillar, the first thing you must get right is your nutrition. There's an adage that says, "You are what you eat," and that's not cliche. That's not that's not what people just say for just for the purpose of saying it. You are actually what you eat. Everything you take through your mouth is 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 food. For example, if you just take junks, for example, sorry, that's I'm in a clinic. That's why you can hear some kids just
Okay.
around me. So um, when you get your diet right, and what is getting your diet right? We are all aware that when we were little, they will talk about the balanced diet, getting the carbohydrates portions right, the protein, the vitamins, and all that. So how can we get this right? How can we get this right? So the first thing is you should take more of fruits and vegetables,
Hmm.
and that's because most of the vitamins you need are there. Most of the micronutrients you need for optimal functioning of your whole system, they are there. So about 40% of your healthy diet should contain fruits and vegetables. And what does this do? It helps with your gut health, that is your intestinal health. It helps to supply all the micronutrients you need. Then also you should take protein. We know protein is they are the class of bodybuilding classes of food. They should constitute about 25%. So fruits and vegetables should constitute 40%. Protein should constitute about 25%. Then you should also take carbohydrates which are fiber rich. What we mean by fiber rich um, content is that carbohydrates is that they are not so processed. They contain raw and vital, easy to digest constituents, and this should constitute about 25% of your food. Then fats should be the list of what you take. Don't take too much of fats because belly fat has been associated with lots of diseases, from heart disease to respiratory disease sometimes to chronic disease like diabetes, even um, high cholesterol level, and sometimes because study has shown extensively with medical research that taking too much of fatty diets has been predisposing some people of recent to even cancers.
Hmm.
So getting these diets right is what we must first find as our foundational pillar of health.
Okay, you mentioned something like taking carbohydrates that are high on fiber or something like that. Can you give us examples? Because we take a whole lot of carbohydrates in rice, number one, yam, but then you said something connecting with fiber. So can you give us example of that kind of food, that kind of carbohydrates?
Okay, good. So, for example, rice is a common food that every household takes,
Yeah.
and most people tend to take polished rice. Most people tend to take a lot of rice that has undergone lots of processing, but we found that local rice like ofada rice are easily digestible.
Hmm.
Is standard with nutrition that you find out that when you take that, you even feel healthier than usual. And also, when you want to take the likes of yam and everything, they are highly starchy.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things your body does with things that are too starchy is that it converts them to a fat called glycogen in your liver. So excess starchy food, you should not take too much of starch, too much of um for example eba, for example now that is made
Hey,
from gari
what should
contains
William be eating
contains
now? What's going on?
contains contains no, just get me right, it
Okay.
contains a lot of starch.
Hmm.
So for example, you should not take too much of that. If you are taking a plate of eba now, the vegetables should be what is more. You should have
Oh.
maybe a hand size, like a fist size of maybe the eba, and then almost double of that should be your vegetables. It can
So
be
this
the
soup should be more
spinach
than
or
the
all that.
swallow. Oh, okay.
Exactly,
Which is not exactly
exactly. Not
feasible.
not
Yes.
the
That's not how we do
mm,
here, oh, but we'll try.
Who go
that's
belly full
not
like
that's
that?
not that's not how we do it, but we have to start that because lots of studies have been showing that excess calorie in the body has been found to cause various chronic diseases. And as I said earlier, we are actually what we eat,
Hmm.
some vegetables. You should feel healthier.
All right. Okay, so let's move on to the next law. Or do you have any questions concerning nutrition?
No, no, I'm good. Let's move on.
Okay, so let's move on to the next important law.
Okay, so the next thing you must get right is your exercise. And I'll be flogging this, I'll be saying it over and over again. How many times do we really exercise as people in this country? Many people
Zero.
live the sedentary lifestyle. Yes, many people live the sedentary lifestyle. They are just from work to maybe quote unquote, some people go to joints. So
Arewa.
then they go back home. Yes, so people don't really exercise, and what should we do? There's a saying that I love. It says that it goes thus: if you move more, your life will move more.
Hmm.
And what does that mean? What does that really mean? When you increase your rate of activity, the rate at which your body functions will be more optimal. We can all see that whenever we go on a jogging spree, maybe you've dumped fit farm for a long time and you decide to jog a weekend, you feel healthier because there's there's something in your body called an hormone called endorphin. It's a feel good hormone that comes with exercising. Then also with exercise, you increase your rate of metabolism. That is the rate at which your body breaks down energy and all that. You be able to burn more fat. Even Having a team of fitness farm, you create communities of like-minded people, and this can improve both your mental health and your physical health. In fact, it has been found that when your blood pressure is on the rise, you don't need to necessarily start taking drug immediately. Increase your level of physical activity and you'll be better at it. 150 minutes per week is all you need of moderate exercise. That's about 30 minutes of moderate exercise in within 5 days, like 5 days in a week. And with that, you can be able to say you are healthier.
Wow. All right. I do have a question because a whole lot of people categorize activity as exercise. So I do not know if activity and exercise are the same thing. But we do need to go pay this very short bill. When we get back, we'll ask that question the right way it ought to be asked, and then you'll attempt to help us provide an answer to that particular one. In the meantime, we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Still Radio Doctor on your dial and dial, Super 96.3 FM, your family thirst and cravings.
It's the greatest for me. Hunger makes your cooking fun. Happiness, we go fill your belly. Enjoy the taste and aroma.
Try the improved Onga Chicken Cube for great chicken taste and aroma.
She's still fierce, she's still merciless, and she's back in Wura Season 2.
I, Wura Amo Adeleke, will not lose my mind. I will do everything to save it.
Lives will be shattered, secrets revealed, and enemies destroyed.
We can't keep killing people as if they are goats or fowls, but we can.
But can Wura hold on to her power? And at what cost?
Watch the new season of Wura now only on Showmax. Subscribe from 1,200 Naira monthly. Sign up at showmax.com.
You're listening to Your Drive Time Show.
Feel the love, feel the music on Super 96.3 FM.
Radio Doctor on Super 96.3 FM.
All right, welcome back. Still Super 96.3 FM, your family thirst and cravings. Still very much the Radio Doctor conversation on the three pillars of health. It's talked about nutrition, how important your nutrition is to your body. It's also currently talking about how much you need to exercise. But I did mention earlier, Doctor, that a whole lot of people will confuse exercising for activity or even activity for exercising. Now, I need you to help us, create a gap between these two things. The fact that I'm doing this and I'm doing that, does that mean I'm exercising? What exactly does exercising mean and how does it differ from activity?
Wonderful question, I must say. And what do I really mean by activity and what do I mean by exercise? So, exercise is moderate intensity aerobic activity. Let me break that down for you. Moderate intensity in terms of you are not overly stretched, but your heart rate increases. Then is an aerobic activity because you take in lots of oxygen and you send out carbon dioxide through respiration. So what are these forms of exercise that differentiates from over activity or what we call stress, because I'm also a stress management coach. So the difference between exercise and stress is that you enjoy exercise, you don't enjoy being in a stressful activity or being in a stressful situation. For example, if you're cycling, it's enjoyable. That's an exercise. When you're swimming, it's enjoyable. That's an exercise. If you have in your house, for example, if you have a garden and you are gardening, or you have a dog, you are walking, or you just take a brisk walk early in the morning before you set out for work, just to sweat it out and you're taking a lot of oxygen. All those are exercise. However, if you walk from, let me say, you walk from Alamala Barracks to Lafenwa, that is stress. That is stress. And so you must be able to differentiate all these things from like things that will stress you are not positive activities that you're involved in, but things that will increase your heart rate, which you enjoy. Those are the forms of exercise I'm talking about. And it should be about 30 minutes every day and 30 minutes, 5 weeks in a day, that it increases your heart rate and gets you to shed fat and live a healthier life.
Okay, let me interrupt you a little bit there. I've seen a couple of people who work at buildings where they've got elevators and they also have like a staircase. And some people would say, I don't want to use the elevator. I want to exercise, so I'm going to use the staircase and just walk up and walk down. Can you categorize this as exercise, or is this just you're stressing yourself?
That is an exercise because every single day of our lives as adults, we must take at least 10,000 steps per day.
10,000 steps per day.
I knew I should be trekking.
Exactly.
OFPs I enjoy.
About 8 to 10,000 per day. So how do you do that in maybe a situation where you live in an estate, there's Uber coming to pick you, there's maybe you have an official car that comes to pick you from AC to AC and all that, is that at every opportunity to walk meaningfully, you set to walk. For example, early in the morning, instead of taking, for people that take bikes, instead of taking a bike from your doorstep to the junction, you take a brisk walk to the main junction and you navigate your way to work. In that way, your steps start to count. If you have Apple Watches or you have health monitoring devices, it will start counting the steps, and that way you are exercising. Then take the stairs instead of the elevator. That is what we recommend, and that is what is recommended all over the world. Even the Center for Disease Control said 8,000 to 10,000 steps is what we need to be able to battle all the things that sedentary lifestyle tends to bring our way.
Okay, thank you so much for breaking that down.
I knew I was doing the right thing by trekking. It's not that I cannot enter car. I just knew that it was healthy for me. No, I just knew it. I'm serious. So you guys, walking is very, very important. I don't know if we have time to take the last law. Even if we can't finish, we might probably have a part 2. But yeah, so just tell us what the last important law is, Dr.
The
Toby.
last and very important law is sleep. Get healthy sleep. For an adult, it should be about 7 to 8 or 9 hours.
That one hard.
7 to 8. So when people are motivating you that sleep for only 4 hours, usually it has effect when you are much older. You have problems with sleep later. You have problems with weight control later when you are not able to get at least 7 hours as an adult.
In the night or
That's
the
the
whole
last
day?
one.
Is it only in the night or the whole day? Have at least 7 hours of sleep.
For 24 hours at least.
Okay.
A good night's rest, and everything should jump out to about 7 hours.
All right.
So you can have nap in the afternoon, maybe 30 minutes or 15 minutes, and complete the whole cycle at night when you go back home to rest.
Okay. Well, people are always talking about how important night sleep is. Is it very, very important? What if can't I have 4 hours of sleep in the day, then in the night probably 2 hours? Is it very, very important, the night sleep?
Okay. Night sleep is very important because of an hormone called melatonin. And what that does is that it helps stabilize your mental health. So what many people don't know, or what they don't pay more attention to, is that, have you not noticed that anytime you have a poor night's sleep, you are more irritable? Come to think about it, that's your body telling you that when everywhere is silent, your body should find a way to rejuvenate itself. It should find a way to repair itself. That only the organs that function should not be your hands, should not be your legs. It should just be the heart, brain and all that, and you should have a way to relax from all the accumulated stress of the day. But when it's afternoon, you are sleeping 2 hours, you are sleeping 3 hours, you are now completing like 1 hour at night. You have a fragmented sleep pattern, and that is not so healthy for your brain in general.
All right. In general, before we go, just a minute, just tell us something, about something healthy, something you want us to do this year for us to be healthy. Just one important
like
thing
a
you want
health
people to
tip
do
for the year 2024.
Yeah.
So what I'll say as the most important thing is be happy and protect your mental health, because it is very important.
Deep. All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Toby, for giving us these 3 important pillars of health. I mean, one thing I've surely learned is that the soup should be more than the swallow. I'm going to... I've never heard that before, but yes, I'm definitely going to put that into
The
consideration.
vegetables.
Okay, the vegetable.
Say the soup.
Okay.
Yes, not the oil.
Oh, okay. No wahala. Thank you so much, Dr. Toby, for your time. Thank you so much. We appreciate you, and hopefully we can have you next time. Have a beautiful day. All right.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
All right, there you go. That is as much as we can take on today's edition of your Radio Doctor segment. Of course, you're encouraged to stay locked onto this dial, Super 96.3 FM. Radio Commander Vikoko is coming up next. So make sure that everything you probably missed out on in the world of sport is brought back your way. And not just brought back your way, newly packaged in the right way that suits your consumption. So of course, do not go anywhere. My name is Rarebird Arewa, set on naturally cut short, set on naturally slim fit, the governor's favorite OAP.
My name is Whitney, the radio angel, and the up Super Eagles. Up Super Eagles. I wanted to say something about the match.
Okay.
Happiness is free. Yeah. It not go cost you nothing to be happy.